Hello again, and welcome to Football Manager Roleplay, a project where we create a player using the FM pregame editor, give him a potential ability of 200, and see if he will become the greatest American footballer ever. We will simply watch the progression of this player, Henry Marshall, from the age of 15 to hopefully his eventual retirement. This is a role-building exercise where Football Manager provides the events, and we build a story around those events. There are a couple of changes. First, Henry Marshall celebrated his 20th birthday. Second, his current ability is now at 138, a gain of 2. Now, this current ability is the 25th highest ranking among Liverpool players. At Norwich, he'd start, but at Liverpool, he's trapped in the youth leagues, only occasionally playing for the senior club. Oh, about the senior club. Liverpool is now in 11th place in the Premier League, and manager Zinedine Zidane has been sacked. A magazine has reported that Italy's Stefano Paoli has been offered the job, but the club has not yet confirmed it. Let's now move the calendar forward. The game on December 7th against Watford. This is at the Watford under-21s, and the result here is a 3-0 victory from Liverpool's under-21 team. There were very few attempts at goal this game. Let's see, find our analysis here. Does it happen? Match stat. Yes, only 4 attempts at goal from the under-21s, but there were 3 from Liverpool, and they made every single one of them. And Henry Marshall played wide left, and he had an 80% passing rating here. We'll look at his player statistics. And Liverpool right there. I always get him here. He had a couple of interceptions, and he had a clearance, and that was probably enough to boost him up to a 7-1 rating. On December 8th, Henry Marshall would be asked to fly to Italy and meet the team there to be a reserve for the Champions League match here, coming up in Napoli. We see Liverpool draws Burnley in the FA Cup. It was a heavy loss there, 5-1 loss by Liverpool. Ousmane Dembele scored a hat trick against the Reds, and Liverpool looked like a team in psychological malaise during that game. I'm not going to give you any details about it. They're still in 12th place among Champions League teams, but they look nothing like their old selves. Let's move forward to December 10th, and this is a game in the Under-21 Premier Division International Cup. Liverpool Under-21s hosting Barcelona B, and we see this game ends in a 1-1 draw. But it will be enough to clinch first place for the Under-21 squad in the International Cup, and this will put them in the quarterfinals, which will be drawn in March 2027. See how well Henry did. He is right over here. He started this game 93% passing. Look at the player statistics for Henry. 93% passing, 1 cross, got some aerials in, some dribbles. Did a pretty good job. 6.9 rating. And we'll take a look at those standings for the Under-21 Premier Division Cup. FC Bayern, Arsenal, and Real Sociedad. Their youth teams move forward. Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, and Leeds. Their youth teams move forward. And finally, Liverpool Under-21s and Borussia Dortmund will also move forward. This will all be sorted out sometime in March of next season, rather next year. Let's go back and look at the news feed, and we're going to see that in the news on December 11th, when football says Stefano Pioli has agreed to terms with Liverpool, and it seems like Stefano Pioli, the 61-year-old head coach from Italy, is going to be Liverpool's new manager. However, as you'll learn here, I don't know if it says it right here or not, it does not. You have to scroll up a little bit. This transfer is going to be delayed. They need to apply for a work permit to be granted to him. That decision will be made Thursday, December the 24th on 2026. The 61-year-old Pioli said he couldn't wait to get there. And to quote, "I am practicing my English right now." It will take quite a while, though. I mean, the FA is very busy now implementing its gold card security program. And Liverpool will have to play the next 4 games without Pioli. In the meantime, we have this game coming up. Liverpool favorites for Leicester clash. Let's see. But WhoScored.com all of a sudden brings some astonishing news. The WhoScored.com is a website primarily known for football statistics, but it is a real scoop. And they say that they have it on authority that owner Lewis Scott now wants out of owning the club, and that Liverpool might be taken over by a, quote, mystery investor or group of investors. The article states that Scott, has lost the support of the Red supporter clubs. They all blame him for all this chaos. And there's just a real sense and feeling that this man is just over his head. But right now, we've got a game coming up on December the 13th. This is against Leicester City. Leicester City is in 14th place in the Premier League. Liverpool is in 11th place. Let's see how that one turns out. Yes, Liverpool defeat 10-man Leicester. And what happened during this game? Well, Brandon Williams of Leicester got a red card in the 2nd minute. This meant that the visitors basically played 10 men. They were down a man for the entire game. That left Liverpool in full control. Now, Henry Marshall didn't play in that game, but he did get to observe it as an unused substitute. Now, even though the Reds have a poor home record, this is the 10th, poor road record. The Reds have a poor road record. But this is the 10th straight home game, Premier game that Liverpool has won, but they have lost their last 5 away games. Premier League games. That's not just didn't win. They lost their last 5 Premier League away games. Now, on December 14th, we'll go back to the news feed here. Liverpool attracting, this is from Sporting Life magazine. And what it says is that there's rumors of a takeover, and now there could possibly be 2 different parties making competing bids. So now it gets interesting. Now, of course, Henry Marshall has no influence over who's going to run the club. And however, he's worried about the December 16th. There is a direct conflict on the 16th with both the Liverpool seniors and the under-21 squad playing on the same day. Now, he's going to end up playing with the under-21 squad. But let's see if we can get to that huge news, what order we'll take it in. When the Carabao Cup is coming into town, that's the game on the 16th. It is going to be Bournemouth versus Liverpool. And, attendance in the Premier League after the terrorist attack in the U.S. in November is almost back to exactly what it was before. We have Liverpool facing Bournemouth, division team of the week. Yes, Liverpool directors have enforced a transfer embargo on the 16th. So this gives real weight to the rumors that there will be a possible takeover of the club. So basically, no more deals, no more movement of players can be made, and the restrictions will remain in place until the outcome of the takeover has been resolved. Now, the Liverpool Echo, if we can get to the Echoes game here, rival consortiums in Liverpool tug of war. Yep, there they are. The Liverpool Echo is also named the leaders of the 2 parties looking to take over and control over the club. And the first party is led by Yao Frankie. And Yao Frankie, or Frankie Yao, depending on which country's naming convention you want to use, he is the CEO of an international real estate company. And in the interview with Yao, he told the Echo that the hiring of Stefano Pioli might not go through if he takes over the club, and that he, quote unquote, might have other plans. And Yao also called the coaching staff, quote, complete rubbish, end quote. And he said that the fault of Liverpool's showing belongs entirely to the coaching staff. The second party is led by Oriol Aroca of Spain. Now, he is the playboy son of a billionaire, Adelia Aroca, who's an investment banker. So the younger Aroca has accused Yao of, quote, selling garbage to Liverpool supporters, end quote. Selling them that somehow that Liverpool's problems could be easily fixed. So these two forces are now fighting out for control of the club. In the meantime, we've got games going on both for the under 21s and for the senior club. Let's go ahead and take a look at the game on the 16th. This is the youth game where Liverpool's under 21 hosts the Burnley under 21 squad in the Premier Division Cup. The result of that game is a 1-1 draw, but Liverpool still leads their group despite a -1 goal differential. Let's see if we can pull them up here. Where is Liverpool's group? Right there. It is group number 6. And go back to the old report. And it's going to, of course, take a long time. No, well, here we are back. It wasn't really the world's greatest game from either club, with each team splitting possession. And Henry Marshall's 6.7 rating here is a pretty pedestrian rating for an under 21 player. See, there he is. Although he did have 3 interceptions and he did have 2 clearances. Let's go back to that same day on December 16th. This is going to be at Bournemouth. This is the Carabao Cup quarterfinals. And as we can see, Liverpool will actually win in that cup quarter game. They come from behind to win with a score of 2-1. We will pull that game up for you and see if we can get our results. There we are. And, Mamadi Diambu, he scored the go-ahead win for Liverpool in the 82nd minute. Henry Marshall did not play in that game. They will go ahead and play in the semifinals at Anfield, and their opponent will be Crystal Palace. We'll get some other news here. On the 17th, the Daily Star here says that Marshall should be dropped by the USA team. You see this a lot in Football Manager. You don't know quite what to think of it. Marshall shrugs it off, but he does agree that his lack of playing time with a senior team is hurting him in the eyes of the U.S. team. Now, just before the next game, which is going to be at Norwich on the 19th, Liverpool's transfer embargo was lifted. And there's a Liverpool-Norwich match. Premier Division Consortium complete the Liverpool takeover, and Yao Frankie has successfully completed his takeover at Liverpool. And his first remark to the press was that he wanted to make a difference, quote unquote, for the fans. Yao is described as a very resolute and determined man. He is the child of a police officer in Hong Kong. He is very used to giving orders. He is very used to having his orders obeyed. He stated that, quote, necessary changes will be coming, not pleasant changes, but the club has to be turned around, and I am the one to do it. He has a lot of confidence in himself. Let's go ahead. There's Liverpool finally lifting the transfer embargo. How did that game turn out? Well, it ended up as a draw. And note that at Norwich is the 20th team in the Premier League. They're at dead bottom. Well, you drew 0-0 against the worst team in the Premier League, but at least it broke Liverpool's ugly string of 5 straight away losses. Although it does make it now 6 straight games for Liverpool without a win. And we'll pull up the match report right there. And Marshall actually got to play in this game. Liverpool was able defensively to force Norwich to make their shots from long distances, but despite Liverpool making an increasingly good showing in the second half, they just simply could not score a goal here. I mean, Liverpool had good possession, but not great possession. Henry Marshall is over here somewhere. He came in the 56th minute. He had a 6.9 rating. Had one key pass, and the player statistics for Henry can be found right there. I don't think there's really anything there. Let's see. We had a couple of interceptions. Fairly good game. However, it was Norwich keeper Angus Gunn who was the man of the match. Up next for Henry on Monday the 21st is this game against Southampton under 21s, which is at Anfield, believe it or not. It's not at AXA. The news feed, and we'll get back to the news feed later on, says that they were going to upgrade some of the facilities at AXA immediately, and this was probably by orders of the new ownership. And you take a look at that. Henry Marshall, he had a couple of key passes. It was good enough for a 6.9 rating. Look at the heat maps. The heat maps are very different. Liverpool just all over the field. Southampton pretty much right here in the middle. But it was a hard game. Southampton only had 4 shots on goal, but the one they took. And this name is an immortal name by the name Kane Full of Love. It is Kane Full of Love, a new gen. Yes, he is Kane Full of Love. Remember that name, and you may hear it someday. But it is a loss going into the winter break. Marshall, he had 1 clearance, and he also had, if I can find it here, let's see. Actually, Marshall had 3 clearances and 1 interception. So nice game from Henry Marshall going into the into what is the youth winter break. Let's go to the news feed. I really want to try to get to the end, the beginning of January here, and so we'll go up. Wait for our next game is against Fulham and Liverpool. Indeed, there they are upgrading the youth facilities. Only going to take a short amount of time to do that. Liverpool favorites for this Fulham clash. Liverpool is in 11th place. Fulham is in 6th place. So how does that game result? It's a poor finishing cost Liverpool dear in surprise defeat. So disappointing 2-0 loss to visiting Fulham. Both Henry Marshall and Russell John, they made some cash as unused reserves in this game, but according at least to the header, poor finishing cost Liverpool that match. Now, one bit of news that was unresolved from this new takeover at Liverpool was the fate of Stefano Pioli. And the new owner, Frankie Allen, stated that he might not decide to hire Pioli. But at the same time, Liverpool needed somebody other than a caretaker manager. So would Pioli get a chance to run this club? Well, the answer turned out to be yes and no. So Pioli is indeed granted his work permit. His application is accepted. He will take charge at Liverpool on Thursday, April the 1st, 2027. And it's hidden here. But what happens is that Mark Bridge Wilkinson is named as the interim head coach of Liverpool on December 24th. So, and in addition to coaching the senior squad, they also have him as managing the under-18 squad, so I don't know how that's going to work. Now, Pioli received his work permit on December 24th. The press learned he's starting at Liverpool on April 1st. Now, according to the way Pioli tells the story, the Italian men's team wanted to stay on as an analyst and to coach some of their friendlies, while the Italians were seeking out their own replacement candidate at their leisure. Now, Henry Marshall had to laugh at all this. I mean, he, Russell John, Mark Bridge Wilkinson, Stefano Pioli, they were just all the same in between status. They were not one thing, they were not another thing. I mean, interim head coach. What does that mean? What's the difference between an interim head coach and a caretaker head coach? Virgil van Dijk, I think it is, the vice captain of Liverpool, by the way, he's down to the last 6 months on his contract. And so is Mohamed Salah. He's also down to the last 6 months on his contract. So let's go ahead to this next game. Marcus Edwards has resolved his issues. He now wants to stay at Liverpool. Liverpool, however, lose him through an injury. He has a twisted ankle, and Liverpool is favorites for this game up at Tottenham. And this game at Tottenham, Liverpool number 11, Tottenham number 12. This is at Anfield. This is on Boxing Day. And Bridge Wilkinson, positive mood. Yep, he's warming up to this Liverpool possibly depart company with Van Dijk here. And how did that game turn out? That game turned out to be a 3-2 Boxing Day victory by Liverpool over Tottenham. Stefan Baksedic, I hope that's his name, he got the goal in the 88th minute to make the fans happy and give Liverpool a needed win. Marshall did not play in this full game. He basically played the last half hour of this game off the reserves. Let's see if we can find him here. Where he is. There he is. He had 100% passing, had one clearance. And Marshall did pretty well for himself in the time he was here. Ended the game with a 6. Is it 9 or a 6? It's a 6-9 match rating, one clearance. Let's see if we can go back to the main feed here. And they avoid the win here. Bridge Wilkinson, please. Liverpool lose Alexander-Arnold through injury. They cut Arnold and Salah with injury. Liverpool favorites for this match coming up against Watford. Liverpool moves to 10th in the Premier League with that win over Tottenham. They'll go to Watford. Watford is the 20th team in the Premier League. Those bottom positions change a little bit. Nicolas Carvalho worries Liverpool, and this one ends. Poor finishing cost Liverpool dear in a surprise defeat. This is a 2-0 loss on the road, the worst team in the league. I mean, Liverpool might have led possession once we show you the actual possession statistics, but it was clearly Watford that got a chance to do a little bit more with the ball. Henry Marshall was the only youth player to appear in this game. You can see here that Russell John's there, but he's not used. Kenny Pierman's used, but Marshall comes in. He comes in during the 65th minute, and he does enough to get a 6-9 match rating. And we'll see if we can set Liverpool here. There's Marshall. There is his 6-9 match rating for this game. But this game was really just decided in the first half of it. And that's pretty much the end of this episode. We have a new owner taking over at Liverpool. And Liverpool is also going to have to wait until April 2027 for their new head coach. So let's go to Liverpool. Let's look at their competition standings. Here's the senior squad. Liverpool in 11th place. They are hanging out in 14th place in the Champions League. They will be starting the FA Cup in January. They made it to the semifinals of the EFL Cup. They won the English Community Shield. Look at the under-21 squad here. Liverpool under-21s are in 6th place, knocked out of the Papa Johns. They're still in group stages in the Premier Division Cup. And here they are in the Premier Division International Cup, where they have qualified. If we go back to the news feed, we will see that the winners of the various awards are out. We'll talk about that in our next episode. And we finally make it to January 27. So if you like anything you've seen or heard, please click the like or subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Until next time.